What's going on, everyone? Raider here. Hope you're all doing great and having an amazing day. So today we have the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event. So we're going to take a quick look at all of them. We'll check out some of the trade-in deals here in the U.S. And this is just kind of a nerd out video to take a look at these devices, let you know what I think about them, see if they're worth your money actually. So first up, let's take a look at the Z Fold 6. We're going to go ahead and hop in here. So this year we have a few different color options. I ended up going with navy. We do have a $100 price increase. Though do keep in mind we are getting the storage upgrade for free, but we get that every year for free, so that's not really a big deal. But the cool thing is, as we go down here and we look at these trade-in options, you'll see that we're getting up to 1,200 bucks. So it is like a $100 swing in our favor. The only thing is with the Z Fold 6 is there's not really anything new going on this year. I mean, we've got 2,600 nits of brightness. That's nice with the new Vision Booster. We're getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. All right, that's cool, but we expect that. So it's kind of in line with the S24 Ultra now. Unfortunately, we're not getting the anti-reflective coating, which I think is kind of a bummer. I'm not sure if it's a matter of that couldn't be implemented in a foldable screen, or if it turned out that Samsung looked at it and realized, wow, this looks terrible. The crease looks awful. I don't know, but whatever the reason is, we don't get the anti-reflective screen. That is a real bummer. Other than that, it's just more squared off. A little bit wider front screen here. Let's go and look at some of these images real quick. So here you see the front screen. Nothing new on the cameras other than a little minor bump on the telephoto lens. I didn't even think that was happening. My friend let me know about it and I did a quick check. So apparently there is. Not really sure if that's just a software improvement, but nonetheless, they're basically the same cameras, same battery, same charging speed. Not overly excited about the Fold 6. One thing I do like though is it's going to be about 20 grams lighter, which puts it at about 7 grams heavier than the S24 Ultra right here. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I think that's going to make it a lot easier to hold. It's going to make it a lot more pocketable as well because, yeah, Fold 5, you feel it when you got it in your front pocket, at least from a guy's standpoint. So hopefully this new slimmer and lighter phone makes a difference in those areas. And we do have the squared off corners, instead of the rounded off corners like we do have here on the Z Fold 5. So that's going to make it look quite a bit different. But honestly, really, I mean, here's my take on it. If you have the Fold 5, honestly, unless you're a hardcore tech enthusiast, I think you'd be pretty crazy to upgrade. In fact, I think if you have the Fold 4, you're probably good for another year. Look, I'm just keeping it real because I'm really disappointed in the lack of camera innovation. I should say the lack of innovation, period, this year. They're really not doing anything new. Changing the corners and stuff to be square instead of rounded, that's just something Samsung does every couple years anyways. That's not anything new. We're used to that. So that's not really a new thing. Honestly, they just kept touting the Galaxy AI in the Samsung Unpacked event. So really, I mean, it's great for new Fold users. I think this is the one to get for sure. Why not? Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is a considerable upgrade over the Gen 2. I know that for sure because we've got both of those SoCs in both these phones. So I'm used to going back and forth between both of them. You do notice it, but it's not like a night and day thing. Honestly, not a real reason to upgrade. So if you're looking to get into foldables, yeah, I think the Fold 6 is great. If you already have a Fold, I think you should let Samsung know that they really screwed up this year by not innovating enough, and I think you shouldn't buy it. That's my take on it. We speak loudly with our wallets. That's where it matters. You can type all the comments you want on YouTube videos. Samsung doesn't care about that. They care about the money they're getting. So if you don't buy the device, they're going to make changes to the device. So that's how we get change. They know they need to innovate more. They've got a lot of competition. So that's my hot take on the Fold 6. Little disappointed this year, but as a tech enthusiast, I'm sure I'm going to be pretty excited when I have it in hand, just like I do with any other new device. All right, now on to the Z Flip 6. Again, another $100 price increase here in the US. In the trade-in deals, they're okay. Let's take a look at these colors here. I mean, kind of cool here. That orange is pretty intense. I like this one the most. This shadow silver color. I think this one looks pretty fire. I almost got the Flip this year, just I have terrible eyesight, so it's really hard for me to deal with those super small screens. As we look at the trade-in devices, or I should say the trade-in offers, let's go down here and select a Samsung device. We're looking at $650 here in the US, and that's going to be the top amount. I went through all the devices earlier when I did my pre-orders because I'm always looking for a good trade-in deal. But 650 is not bad. So after tax, that's going to leave you at about 400 bucks here in the U.S. to come up with on your own. The Flip 6 gets a little bit larger battery. It's got some new functionality on the front screen as far as like doing translations in real time with other people. It also got the camera upgrade for the 50 megapixel. So, I mean, the Z Flip 6 got some actual considerable upgrades this year. I think the device looks really nice too. It's really sleek. It's no wonder that this outsells the Fold. It actually outsells it by a pretty considerable margin. Last time I checked, it was in the 40 something percent versus 20 something percent. And I don't want to give exact numbers because I don't want to be blowing smoke, but I do know that the Z Flip was in the 40% range versus 20% on the Fold. Those numbers are compared to all other foldable cells, by the way, not Samsung's lineup, other foldables. So the Z Flip kills it. But here's the thing, the last 2 years prior to this year, we were able to get the Flip for $100. So if you wanted the Z Flip 5, all you had to do was trade in your Z Flip 4, and it was mentioned down here with a $900 trade-in credit. So this year for Flip owners, definitely not the sweetest deal. Not like the last 2 years. You're having to pay a premium to do the upgrade this year. Really unfortunate. I was really hoping they'd have that $900 deal again, and I was going to find a device, pick it up off eBay or something and cash in on it. And that's how you really do the upswing on these trade ins. But we don't have room for that this year. They're just not offering it. So for you flip owners, you're having to pay a substantial amount to do the year to year upgrade, which is unfortunate. It's the first time this has happened since the flip's been released. We've always had those $99 upgrade deals every year. So kind of a bummer on that, but we do see some pretty nice improvements on the flip side. It's a nice looking device. I'm liking it more than the Fold this year. I'll say that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Watch 7. Watch 7, not too many upgrades this year, but a couple key ones. All right, so the screen's going to get brighter, not as bright as the Ultra as we're going to talk about, but we do have a new SoC in here, the W1000, which does provide a markable improvement, at least in all the benchmark tests that I'm seeing and all the subreddits where people are just rambling on about the test results. It really looks like this processor is making a substantial difference. Also, it's supposed to help with the AI integration. What that all entails, I have no idea. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a beefier processor, more capable. But the overall aesthetics are pretty much the same, as you can see here. Um, the trade-in deals are pretty meh, kind of like we've had with the watches in the past. You normally don't get that great a deal. Let's take a look at them real quick. All right, so we'll go here and select our device like we see here with the Watch 5 Pro and stuff. $250. That's actually pretty good. Watch 6 Classic is getting 225. Why are they giving more for the Watch 5 Pro than the Watch 6 Classic? Okay. Well, anyway, so the trade-in deal's not too bad, but yeah, not much really going on other than the new SoC and the AI integration on the regular Watch 7. All right, now we come to the Watch 7 Ultra. Right here, front and center, can almost call it the Apple Watch Ultra. I'm not really sure how I feel about the aesthetics here. You can see here we basically have a circle inside of a square. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. Yeah, maybe it can help protect it a little bit better. Maybe there's some battery stuff going on underneath it. I'm not really sure, but as far as the aesthetics go, I have mixed feelings about it. I'll say that. Price is something I also have mixed feelings about. $650, which is a pretty premium price. Yeah, it's not as much as the Apple Watch Ultra, but then again, it's not as feature packed as the Apple Watch Ultra. And considering they're copying Apple a lot this year, I'm not so sure about this, but I am getting it nonetheless. I think it'll be a good watch. We're getting an ATM, which is an atmospheric rating of 10 on this, so it's pretty good for diving. I don't know if there's going to be a depth meter on it, but it's going to hold up to the abuse. Another thing noting that is with this new Ultra model is we only have the medium to large band size. So do keep that in mind. If you have real small wrists or if you're a lady, you may have a problem with this. I'm wearing the medium large band now. I'm a pretty small guy. I'll put the size of my wrist up on the screen. I got to dig it up out of another video. I don't remember what it is, but I'll put it on here, and this barely fits me. Like it's almost too big. Like I have really small wrists. So I really would actually prefer to have the small to medium size one. Unfortunately, it's not an option, so I'm kind of stuck wearing this larger band. So again, you might want to measure your wrists if you do have small wrists and make sure they're not any smaller than the dimension I put on the screen right now, because if you do, you're going to have problems. This isn't going to work out for you. You're going to have to get some type of aftermarket band, and I'm sure they'll become available, but just do know that this default band that it comes with, it's not going to work for you. Another thing worth noting about the Ultra is unlike the Watch 7 and unlike most Galaxy watches prior, we don't have a Bluetooth Wi Fi option. You're stuck with Bluetooth Wi Fi. You're getting both combined. I have no intentions of using cellular data, so I'm never going to use that feature. But just know that you're going to have that. And it's most likely, even if you turn LTE off, just know that it's likely going to consume a little extra battery because Galaxy Watches that have been LTE in the past, like the Galaxy Watch 6 and Galaxy Watch 5, they have been notoriously known for that. So I'm a little anxious about the Watch 7 Ultra, a little fearful that we're going to see that same impact on battery life. I think I saw in a video earlier today that the battery life is 48 hours. That's not really that great. I'm pulling at least that on the Watch 6 Classic right here. And apparently the Watch 6 Classic's not going to be as big. The screen size is the same size, but the overall watch isn't quite as big as a Watch 7 Ultra. So it's kind of a little disappointing that we're not seeing a hike in the battery performance, or I should say the runtime of the battery before we have to charge again. So we'll see how this pans out. But again, this one also gets the W1000 processor geared toward athletic people. They end up giving you an extra band when you order right now during the pre-order time. So that's kind of sweet. The bands are pretty expensive too. They're looking at like, what is that price on here? 79 bucks. Holy cow. For a watch band? I mean, geez. But yeah, there's the Watch 7 Classic. All right, next up we have the Galaxy Buds 3 and the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, which are a major redesign from what we're used to from Samsung. Here we have the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, which I absolutely love these earbuds. These are tied for my favorite Samsung earbuds, right there with the Buds Plus. The Buds Plus were the ones that had the wingtips in them. I love those earbuds. They fit me great. So now we're venturing off into Apple AirPod style. I'm going to hold my reservations on how I feel about this. I mean, no, I'm not. No, I take that back. You know what? They kind of look like something off Temu. I'm sorry for saying that, but to me, they look a little bit cheap. I'm hoping in person they have a little bit more of a premium look, premium feel. But when I sit here and look at this, I do see just a complete AirPods knockoff. And I'm just not really sure how I feel about the aesthetics. Now, again, this whole stem functionality might work out great, might be great for changing our volume and changing tracks and stuff like that. And we'll also see how the ANC pans out. Apparently, the Buds 3 Pro do have a little bit better ANC, and that's going to be by default because you have the ear tips, right? That's going to provide a better seal. And another thing that I hear is that the Buds 3 Pro get extremely loud. I saw that in a couple videos earlier today. So they are offering trade-ins for these. So you can trade in your other buds that you have. So if we look at the Buds 2 Pro real quick, yeah, looking like $100. I went ahead and did the trade-in, which brought it down to 149. These go for 249 and 179 respectively. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet, but these feature 96 kilohertz audio. So now we're looking at lossless audio here in our earbuds, which is pretty sweet, and that's over Bluetooth. Now, I don't know if we get that lossless audio with only other Galaxy devices, if that's going to work with other, phones as well, because you can pair these up with other phones. It doesn't have to be a Galaxy device. You just don't get the full functionality with the Galaxy Wearable app that you're going to get on a Galaxy device with other phones. But nonetheless, I'm kind of excited to try these out. They're definitely a lot different than what we're used to. I'm not overly thrilled that they are kind of copycats of AirPods, though. But, it is what it is. Samsung being Samsung and Apple being Apple, just going back and forth with each other. And lastly, let's take a look at the Galaxy Ring. So this is coming in at 400 bucks. There are no trade-in deals for this as it's a brand new device. There's no previous offers to trade in for it, and they're not letting you trade in anything else for it. So we do have three different colors here to pick from. That's pretty sweet. If you don't know what size you are, you can order a sizing kit, or you can go ahead and pick your size directly. They have sizes 5 through 13. Unfortunately, there's no half sizes, and I happen to be in between sizes. I'm a half size. So for me personally, I'm not going to be getting the Galaxy Ring, and that's because it's not going to fit. I'm not a big Ring fan, and personally, I don't think I can do this particular device justice because I'm not a big health nut. And what kind of videos could I put out after doing the quick introduction of it? I just don't really think it's the right thing for me. The other thing too is I sleep with my watch. I'm kind of a weirdo. I like the sleep tracking on my watch. I know the Ring offers it, but it's just not enough to convince me to swing over to change my habits of taking my watch off at night and just counting on the Ring. So for me, I'm going to personally pass on it, at least for now. I think it's cool tech. They're obviously competing with the Aura Ring. The thing is, a cool thing about this, I should say, even though it's $100 more than that Aurora Ring, am I pronouncing that right? Aurora Ring? The popular one, the big competition. Anyways, that one it goes for $300 instead of 400. But the thing is they have a monthly subscription service, which is over $6. It's six something. So folks are paying that every month for that ring. This one here, you have no subscription. So I think Samsung did that part right. Hopefully they keep it that way because we keep hearing stuff about Samsung is going to start charging for their AI features. Now, if that comes true, that's going to float down to this device and all the devices we're using. I personally probably won't opt into that because I just don't feel the need. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to let them know that we're already paying so much for these devices. They keep up in the prices, just like with the Z Fold and the Z Flip this year. I understand inflation, I get it, but at the same time, we're paying more money, but we're not really getting new features. Let's be real about it. The Flip and the Fold this year really didn't see much. We got a little bit of a camera improvement on the Flip, battery improvement. So, I mean, not bad there, but the Fold, come on, there's nothing really there. So, a little disappointing in that area to where I don't think we should be paying for AI. Not anytime soon until they really get this stuff fleshed out. The other thing too is Galaxy AI is kind of all over the place. It's kind of baked into all these different little areas on our phone. I've had it since the S24 Ultra, so I've been using the AI features for a few months now. And it's just like you'll casually come along one of the little AI buttons and it'll just be there. And unless you have the stuff memorized, it's really hard to tell how you can quickly get to these AI features. They really don't do a good job of encompassing it into like one easily manageable area where you have insight as someone that's just purchased a product, especially for new users. If you're new to this stuff, you're not going to really be keen on this stuff. So, anyways, we have the Samsung Unpacked event today. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are excited for it. I'll start receiving the devices as early as the 24th. So, pretty excited about that. I'm not too excited right now because it's just been kind of a little bit of a lackluster Unpacked event compared to previous ones. But do keep in mind when the devices get here, I'll be pumped up for sure. All right, if you have any questions or comments about this video, please drop down in the comment section below. I know you're not used to seeing my face, so it's kind of a weird video. Great to see you guys. And as always, thanks for watching.